What's up guys, Coach Austin here with your Orange Theory workout tip of the day. And today we're going to talk about the benchmark 2,000 meter row. And as cynical as it might sound, this is my absolute favorite of the benchmark efforts. Now for those that don't know, I come from a rowing background. I rowed all 4 years in college, and 2,000 meters is sort of the rower's distance. That is the sprint distance. But for a lot of us, that's not really considered a sprint, but that's just how rowing is. So the 2,000 meter row is truly one of the most ultimate tests of fitness. And if you're looking to perform really well in that 2,000 meters, it's important to keep a couple things in mind. Now the first thing to think about is that 2,000 meters is a long distance, and you're going to be doing a maximal effort for between 6 to 10 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. Some people might be a little bit faster, maybe a little bit slower, but between 6 and 10 minutes is going to be where a majority of us fall for this 2,000 meter effort. And what does that mean? That means you cannot blast off going super hard, super crazy for the first 500 meters and expect to be okay by the end. In fact, when you're rowing a 2,000 meter row, you should get to the halfway point, 1,000 meters in, feeling pretty good, feeling like you've got this, you can sustain this. If you get to that 1,000 meter halfway point effort and you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm only halfway, this is not good, then you need to really seriously, pump the brakes a little bit and slow yourself down. Because with an effort that takes between 6 and 10 minutes, your cardiovascular strength is going to be what carries you through. So you can't really out-muscle, out-strength a distance like 2,000 meters. Now, as far as breaking this distance down, breaking it up into 500 meter chunks is a good way to go. Where within that first 500 meters, you want to start off with about 3 to 5 aggressive strokes just to get your body up and moving. But after that, we want to settle in to our rhythm. And finding a rhythm is the second most important thing to keep in mind, where we really want to be trying to row long and efficient to establish ourselves into a sustainable effort that we can carry out through the 2,000 meter row. You really want to emphasize the powerful jump back, but a nice, steady, and controlled return back up to take the next stroke. And as far as a breathing rhythm goes, for those that are looking to sort of establish a breathing pattern, one that I like to use is the 2 breaths per stroke, giving an exhale at the front of the stroke and an exhale at the end of the stroke as well. Let's take a listen to see how that sounds. But if you have a breathing rhythm that works for you, by all means, this is just the one that I use, and it might help you out getting more of a rhythmic motion to each rowing stroke that you take. Now, by the time you hit that second 500 meters, you are fully in your rhythm, and the goal is to just hang on to your current power output, your current speed. Try to not have that number be fluctuating up or down a lot. You should be hanging nice and steady. Again, you hit the 1,000 meter mark, you should be feeling like, yes, I'm working, but I feel like I can do this. Like I'm totally in control of myself. That's where you want to be. Now that third 500 meters, guys, that's probably the toughest portion of the effort because your body's starting to fatigue. You're starting to get tired and you're fighting to maintain rhythm and maintain your power output. By the time you hit the last 500 meters, it's starting to think about go time, where we want to try to maybe increase our stroke rate just a little bit. But if you're really not feeling good, just focus on maintaining until you get to that last 200 meters or so. And at that point, you've got about 25 to 30 strokes left, and it's time to go crazy with it. You really want to bring up that stroke rate, bring up that power up and down, and just go after it until that screen says 0. And that's my final tip for you as well. If you're trying to get a PR time on this, you don't want to take your last stroke with just 6 or 7 meters to go because that thing will slowly tick down to 0. You need to fight until that screen says 0, rowing through the finish line. But you have to pace yourself and understand that the first half of this should feel very accomplishable. You don't want to get yourself in a position where you get halfway, you're feeling dead, because the rest of that row is going to take a really long time. So keep those tips in mind. Just stay level-headed, stay calm, and use your best rowing mechanics that you can. And there's no reason why you're not going to get out there and totally crush it. So get out there and do your best. Have a great workout.